Hello and welcome back to another video with Dr. Tolu Ajibade. Today's video will be under the series Never Forget, where we dish out mnemonics, acronyms, and whatnot as regards to easy learning and grasping of some information that could seem difficult while studying. Okay, so in today's video, we'll be looking at autoantibodies, mnemonics that pertain to autoantibodies, and how to remember the autoantibodies for a lot of diseases, because I know personally this had always been quite uphill task for me. Trying to remember these antibodies. I keep learning them and keep forgetting them because they're actually very, very easy to forget. Okay, so we'll be looking at the autoantibodies of SLE, scleroderma, Sjogren's disease, other diseases like autoimmune hepatitis, Sjogren, autoimmune hepatitis, systemic sclerosis, Wegener's grandmatoses, rheumatoid, and the likes. Okay, so let's get into it. Are you ready? Okay. So the first one we'll be looking at here is systemic lupus erythematosus. Okay, under this we'll be looking at the regular systemic lupus erythematosus and the drug-induced SLE. Okay, so under the regular systemic lupus erythematosus, I need you to look at this picture right here. What do you see in this picture? You can see it seems like a goldsmith is crafting something here. We can see it seems like the goldsmith is systemically looping these strands of gold into like double strands. Let's look at this other picture here. You can see it seems like strands, but then brought together as double strands. So now double-stranded DNA. Now that's to help us remember this mnemonic, which is the goldsmith systemically loops the gold into double strands. Double strands for double-stranded DNA, and the goldsmith, Smith for anti-Smith. So you have anti-DS, anti-double-stranded DNA, antibody, and antibody against Smith. Okay, so that's anti-DS DNA and anti-Smith. So you shouldn't forget anymore. Okay. Moving on to the next one, which is drug-induced SLE. Let's look at this picture here. What can you see in this picture? Well, left to me, I can see a guy that looks stoned, or will I say high? Stoned or high? I think there's a difference there, is there? Anyway, let's look at the definition of stoned or high. We can see that stoned seems like a drunk state, being under the influence of a drug, especially such as marijuana, taken especially for pleasure. So let's imagine this guy in that picture who got high and stoned on drugs. So that is a way to remember this, the antibody for drug-induced SLE. So he stoned, high stoned, HI, and then stoned for he stoned, and then drugs for drug-induced SLE. Moving on. Let's get to something else apart from SLE. Let's look at scleroderma now. So in scleroderma, we'll be looking at the mnemonic for the limited and the diffuse form of scleroderma, as the CREST syndrome and the systemic sclerosis. So for CREST syndrome now, there's a way I remember this. Okay. Jesus at the center of it all. CREST syndrome, Jesus at the center of it all. For those that aren't Christians, this is a song that most Christians will know. It's kind of saying Christ is at the center of everything we do, our family, our friends, our hobbies, our work. So we kind of keep it central. We kind of keep Christ as the center of it all, like is the core and all of that. So looking at it from that angle, we'll be looking at CREST syndrome. Christ sounds like crest, Christ. So crest at the center of it all. Anticentromere. So CREST syndrome for anticentromere. centromere. Okay, moving on. Systemic sclerosis. This is easy. This is easy. You have systemic sclerosis. What are the first three letters in sclerosis? SCL. So you have anti-SCL70, okay, as the antibody for systemic sclerosis. Moving on. Moving on. So I advise you watch this video more than once, so you just let this mnemonics stick. And also share with a friend if you're enjoying this and you feel that you find it quite helpful, okay? So moving on, we have Sjogren's disease. Sjogren's disease. It's important we know how to pronounce this properly, Sjogren's disease, and not as Sjogren's disease, because it's important for the mnemonic I'm trying to pass across, okay? So Sjogren's disease, we can see a picture here, which is the picture of Hollywood, here. And do you remember where Hollywood is located? It's in Los Angeles, okay? So in Hollywood, you see Los Angeles. I mean, in Los Angeles, you see Hollywood. And what is Hollywood known for? It's known for the home of the rich and the famous. It's the main home of entertainment, TV shows, and all of that. Now, so that's how we remember it. Sjogren's disease. Imagine you're on the way to LA for a show, because most shows are held in LA. So I'm on the road to LA for a show. So the antibodies here are anti-Rho for road, and then LA for anti-LA. So that's anti-Rho, anti-LA. Moving on, anti-Rho, anti-LA. Moving on to the next one, which is autoimmune hepatitis. Autoimmune hepatitis. How do I remember this? As you can see, there is a video sign here. So I remember this using a video which is I don't know if anybody remembers this video. It's the video Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson. Smooth Criminal. You've been hit by a smooth criminal. So instead of just a smooth criminal, I put A for AH, smooth criminal. AH there stands for autoimmune hepatitis, and then the smooth for anti-smooth muscle antibody, okay? Antibody against smooth muscle. So that's for autoimmune hepatitis. Hope you don't forget that. Now, moving on to dermatomyositis or polymyositis. The hint here is they're both, the markers, the antibodies are both the same. So, what picture do you see here? You can see a woman in a clinic looking at something on her hand, trying to examine it. So I'll guess this person is a dermatologist. Okay, a dermatologist. What do we know about dermatologists? We know that dermatology is a very popular residency choice for medical students. Everyone wants to study dermatology, especially the very the students that are like the top of their classes, okay? Because the competition ratio is really high, and everyone just wants to do it. But why does everyone want to do it? Because it pays a lot. Dermatologists can see a lot of patients in a typical day. There are a lot of procedures that are well reimbursed. There's an opportunity to do cosmetics. The lifestyle is pretty good. It is 100% office-based, no after-hour emergencies. It pays a lot. It pays a lot. So it's in a high demand everywhere. It pays a lot. Number 5, again, it pays a lot. So you see, it's really a popular choice for people. Another thing is, how happy are dermatologists at work? I know this looks like a long build-up to what we really looking at, which is the mnemonic to that. But let's move on and see it. We can see that dermatologists are like in the top 4 happiest specialties, okay? So why is that? Because like a regular Joe, dermatologists have a good lifestyle, unlike other doctors. You know, dermatologists have a very good lifestyle, no call duties. Many of them don't do night duties. So it's you have a very good lifestyle, unlike other doctors. So like the regular Joe, anti-Joe 1, regular Joe. So dermatomyositis, regular Joe. Okay, moving on. Hope that helped. So we'll be moving on to primary biliary cirrhosis. Look at this picture here. We can see the mitochondria having biceps, very pronounced biceps, triceps, and all of that. So it's a lot of power. And we all know right from biology, high school biology or secondary school biology that learning about the mitochondria, we knew it was known as the powerhouse of the cell. The powerhouse of the cell. Now, BBC, what is similar between BBC and the mitochondria? Just as the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, BBC is also a powerhouse, but of media. Now, BBC, let's change that a little. Let's switch it up a little and say PBC, powerhouse, just like the mitochondria. So, anti-mitochondria, PBC, anti-mitochondria. So, primary biliary cirrhosis, PBC, for anti-mitochondria, powerhouse, okay? That could be a little complicated, but I guess I believe you're able to pick that and remember forever. Never forget, okay? So moving on to rheumatoid arthritis. This one is really simple. It's easy. RF, rheumatoid factor. Rheumatoid arthritis, so rheumatoid factor. That's quite easy. However, there's another marker, which is anti-CCP, which is more specific. C for spec, C in C, P in thick. So specific, as you can see here, it's more specific. Okay? So RF and anti-CCP. Moving on to, okay, so we're looking at Churg-Strauss and Wegener's granulomatosis. I hope this has been helpful thus far. Don't forget to share, subscribe, like the video, hit the like button, smash it. That's what gives us the continued encouragement to keep doing these videos. It takes a lot to bring these videos together, and you liking it, you subscribing gives us more drive to keep doing this. And share it with a friend. It's very important information. It could help out in whatever you're doing. Okay. And when you're studying, it could be the next question you have in your exams. It could be that determining factor that's between pass and failure, okay? Between success and failure. So let's just share it, like, subscribe. So moving on to Wegener's granulomatosis. How do I remember this? What is this? Who can guess? Should I give you 2 seconds to guess? 1, 2. All right. So this is a worm, quite all right. You can see it on the leaf. This worm is known as a cankerworm. Now, it's a caterpillar of a North American moth that has wingless females. Cankerworms consume the buds and leaves of trees and can be a major pest. Now, imagine a cankerworm eating up the nose. Imagine a cankerworm eating up the nose. And you should know that in Wegener's granulomatosis, the nasal septum is eaten into. The nasal septum could be perforated. You have epistaxis, So imagine that, the cankerworm eating up the nose. And now, canker, C anchor, like a lot of people would say, but for the purpose of remembering, I would say canker. Cankerworm, C anchor, Wegener's. Cankerworm. W there for Wegener's. Canker for C anchor. Okay, so you shouldn't forget that. Now, for Eosinophilic granulomatosis with polyangiitis. It's also known as Churg-Strauss disease. You should know that it's the granulomatosis that isn't marked by cyancar. So if it's not cyancar, it's what? It's piancar. So it's that simple, okay? Medicine is easy. We have to make it easy for ourselves, okay? So if it's not cyancar, it's piancar. So Wegener's canker, cyancar, Churg-Strauss, piancar. Okay, I guess that settles it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment down in the comment section. Let's see videos you want me to touch on, mnemonics you want me to look into, because that's how I learn. I learned by making up mnemonics along the way, all through medical school. That's how I've learned, even up till now as a practicing doctor. That's what I keep doing, using mnemonics to remember things. So do well to leave a comment in the comment section. Do well to like and subscribe. Until the next one, bye for now.